Really depends on the context and the age of the child and the temperament of the child and all sorts of things. So I don't think there's a blanket right or wrong. So let's unpack that a little bit, Cecilia, so we can see, whether it's in whole brain child, which basically says, your goal as a parent is to allow your child to develop a more integrated way of living, which includes an integrated brain, which means there's different things that then get linked. And so let's just look at that concept from whole brain child of integration. So in the communication you're mentioning, a child's feeling something and, she's having a hard time putting to words what she's feeling. So at that moment, the issue for you to keep in mind as a parent is that she has there's the different or unique or special experience called subjective experience. And your job as a parent is to tune into that. So even before we talk about naming it, let's just talk about tuning into it. So you want to try to focus your attention on the notion that your child is feeling an emotion at that moment. And emotions are wordless. They have no words to them. They're like what's called a feeling state or state of mind. And you can see she's, her lips are quivering, maybe her nostrils are flaring, and she's getting some tears in the corner of her eyes. And so you think, maybe she's sad, and that's a word that comes to you as an adult, or maybe she's ashamed, or maybe she's, a little bit guilty and frightened, or, there's all sorts of reasons tears come. So at that moment, you could just say, you can tune in to her state, her emotion, her subjective experience, all those being the same, without using any words. You could even say something general like, sweetie, I can see you're feeling something. Let's just take a pause and let yourself feel that. So what you're doing there in your communication without naming the feeling is you're just saying, let's honor that something's going on that's significant. So emotion is actually how the body communicates with the head, and the head tries to make meaning of what the body is sending to it as signals. That's really what an emotion is. It's how we create meaning in our lives. So you can say when someone's emotional, something really meaningful is happening, and it also evokes emotion. So it's kind of a motivator to get you to do something, even if that's just a pause and not say anything. So it's a significant moment. So for you as a parent, you don't have to name it, but recognizing that it's happening is what the important thing is. Then your child starts crying and her lip is really quivering, and you can do a nonverbal gesture of putting your arm around her if that feels appropriate. And now she's really crying and she's burying her head into your shoulder, and you just, caress her without the goal of trying to for her to get rid of her sadness. You want her to realize that she can be in a very uncomfortable state, and you can be there with her, not trying to get rid of it. Now, this is different than if someone impales themselves on a nail and it hurts, and then you want to take the nail out and, put on some cream so it doesn't get infected and take it. That's a different kind of pain. Here, the distress of an emotion, you really want to teach her that she can be with a distressing emotion and learn from it because it's something meaningful happening. Too often, parents themselves don't like their kids to feel distressed. They quickly try to take the distress away, distract them, say it's okay. Well, no, it's not okay. They're feeling something distressed. They should feel what they're feeling, right? Okay, so this is before you're naming anything. You're just saying, I'm tuning in. And I might say a phrase like, oh, I can see, sweetie, you're feeling something. Now she's got her head buried in your arm, and you're really supporting her, giving her support and soothing her. Not soothing her to get rid of something, but just to help her know she's not alone. And she says, I don't know what's going on. I don't know. And you can say something really general like, maybe you can notice just what you're feeling in your body. Oh, my chest is so heavy, depending on her age. I have some butterflies in my stomach or whatever. I got, a frog in my throat or whatever she's saying. And you say, oh, yeah, just notice, wow, those are big feelings in your body, right? So this is like the acronym SIFT, you want to sensations, the S, start with bodily sensations before you name it as an emotion. because you don't know exactly what's going on as the person not in her body. And she doesn't know exactly what's going on. She's just having an emotion, just like any of us, right? So now she's sitting with it, and soon images come. This is the eye of Sift. And now she has images of her friend saying that she's not going to come to her birthday party because her uncle is getting married that weekend. And she feels that she's being betrayed by her best friend because there's a big birthday party and she was going to play this special game of hide and seek where she and her friend were going to be on a team. And now her friend is abandoning her. So she feels really distressed, and, you know, social rejection is just like physical pain. So it's like she's stepped on a nail. And so she feels so much pain, and she's so sad, and she feels so betrayed, and she's so angry. She's got so many feelings going on. So now she tells you about the image, the eye of Sift. And she pictures Sarah is got this uncle's, you know, wedding, and what's with that she's prioritizing. She doesn't use those words, but, you know, her uncle over her. And isn't she the best friend? That's just her uncle. And he can get married another weekend, you know, whatever she might feel. So now you go, oh yeah, that feels so hard that Sarah's not coming to your birthday. It's so hard for you. So you still haven't named the emotion, but now she starts to say, yeah, I feel really sad about it, and I'm mad about it. And she starts naming all these different states. So you could have skipped all that and just said, oh, you're sad. Your tears mean sad. You're sad. And she goes, yeah, I'm sad. Right. And you would have missed the whole thing. She wouldn't have started with the sensations of the body, the images of Sarah and her uncle, and now the feeling of sadness and anger and betrayal, you know, disappointed, you know, scared, because how is she going to play the game without, you know, Sarah there and everything? And those are all the thoughts, the T of that. So sensations, images, feelings, thoughts. So even if you just remember the acronym, there will be in your communication words that come up, but I would be careful not to try to like lock onto a singular word that solves all problems. There is, you know, this great phrase for parents, I think, name it to tame it is the phrase, you know, when I saw the research on when someone in a brain scanner is, you know, given something that's very emotionally evocative and the emotion is taking over. If they name the emotion, it calms down and the person can think more clearly, basically. So I said, name it to tame it. So, but that's not name it to get rid of it. It's name it to put in what's called a window of tolerance, you know, where you can be with the emotion and not go into chaos or rigidity, that you're able to actually really stay with the emotion, like this, you know, like your daughter with Sarah going to her uncle's wedding.